Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of The Journey of a Navy Medic. I'm Lieutenant Commander Dave Lassam, Royal Australian Navy retired, and today I'll be taking you through the journey of my career in the Royal Australian Navy, spanning nearly 4 decades. This episode explores the evolution of the Navy Medic role, from the early days of my recruitment and training to the challenges faced on the job and how medical roles in the RAN have transformed over the years. In this episode, I'll share what it was like to be a Navy medic back in the day, how the training prepared me for both the expected and the unexpected, and the moments that truly shaped my career. But more importantly, we'll take a look at the evolution of Navy medicine, how it has changed over time, and how I've adapted along with it. Let's dive in. The early days. When I first decided to join the Royal Australian Navy, I didn't fully understand the scale of what I was getting into. Recruitment was a process that both challenged and excited me. Back then, the path to becoming a Navy medic wasn't as clear-cut as it is today. There was a lot of uncertainty, but a deep sense of duty to serve my country that pushed me forward. My training was intense. It wasn't just about learning medical procedures or how to treat injuries, though that was obviously a key part of it. It was about learning to work under pressure, think on my feet, and stay calm in some of the most high-stress environments you could imagine. From the first day of training, I realised this wasn't going to be like any civilian job. The Navy's way of doing things is unique, and the discipline required was second to none. The challenges weren't just physical. The emotional strength you needed to develop as a medic, knowing that lives were often in your hands, that was something they drilled into us early on. The evolution of the Navy medic role. When I started as a Navy medic, the role was much more hands-on with limited resources. But over the years, I witnessed firsthand how the role evolved. Technology, medicine, and the way we approached healthcare changed dramatically, especially in terms of the equipment we had and the type of medical procedures we could perform. I remember when the Navy began introducing new medical technologies like portable diagnostic tools and advanced trauma equipment. Suddenly, we were able to do things on site that would have been unimaginable a decade earlier. The Navy's investment in our training also grew, ensuring we could handle more complex situations, even in the field. One particular deployment stands out. We were operating in a remote area, and the tools we had back then were far from the sophisticated systems we have now. But I had the right training, and it made all the difference. I was able to stabilise a patient and get them the treatment they needed with just the basics. It's moments like that that make you realise the importance of adapting to what you have and making the most out of your resources. The role of a Navy medic has grown from simply treating wounds to becoming a crucial part of every mission, providing medical care in ways you never imagined at the start of my career. Challenges. Of course, no journey comes without its challenges. Being a Navy medic wasn't always smooth sailing. There were the long hours, high stress and difficult medical situations that would push anyone to their limits. But the most challenging part was sometimes the emotional toll. As medics, we're often the first responders, and we're the ones that see things that others don't. Over the years, I had to learn how to manage the weight of these experiences, sometimes losing patience, sometimes dealing with injuries that seemed impossible to treat at the time. But I never lost sight of why I was there. To save lives, to protect my fellow sailors, and to do everything in my power to ensure that every individual I treated received the best care possible. One particularly tough memory that stands out was the time I had to deal with a mass casualty situation on a deployment. The chaos was overwhelming, but in these moments I had to rely on everything I'd trained to do, keeping calm and focusing on the task at hand. That moment taught me more about myself than I ever expected. The emotional aspect was tough, but the Navy taught me resilience. It's something I carry with me for the rest of my life. Retirement and reflections on the journey. After nearly 4 decades of service, the requirement came with a mixture of emotions to retire. On one hand, I was ready to take the step back to let someone else carry the torch, but on the other hand, it was difficult to imagine life without the Navy. The camaraderie, the sense of purpose, it's something that stays with you long after you leave. As I look back on my career, I realise just how Navy shaped me, not only as a medic but as a person. The training, the challenges, the sacrifices, they all taught me lessons in perseverance, leadership and the importance of service. And as I retired, I couldn't help but think how much things had changed over the years. The Navy has always evolved, and I'm proud to have been part of that journey. I look back with pride, knowing that in my own way, I helped contribute to the evolution of Navy medicine. The Navy medic role will continue to change, but at the heart of it, the commitment to saving lives and serving others will always stay the same.